What up, though?
What's up, bro? What's happening?
What's going on? Not much, man. We live. I got the live started. We just waiting on other people to get up in here. That's all. But shit. While we at it, man, shit, we could just kick it on.
I just got off the horn with Mr. T.
Okay, you on his way in? Somebody just
Yeah.
text me too. Somebody just text me.
Yeah, he on his way in.
Okay. But yeah, he ain't now. He ain't now. What
There
up,
you go,
though?
right there.
What's the deal, man?
What's going on, man? You all right?
Living my life, man, like it's fucking golden.
There go Tone right here.
Skill for the free one.
Hey, good evening, gentlemen.
What up?
How you brothers doing tonight? What up,
Skill
good,
for the
man?
free one.
What up, though? What up, though?
Yeah.
All right.
Bro.
What up, Jay?
What's up, bro?
You all right? It's good to hear your voice.
Yeah, I'm good.
And you over there looking like Dapper Dan, bro.
He always dressed like he ready for a gender reveal and shit. I'm mad.
I'm up for it all. Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that. I'm up for it all. We won't be doing that here tonight, though.
Shit, we fuck around and just might, nigga. Bitch had me clutching my pearls yesterday.
Okay.
Oh,
Absolutely might.
No, yeah, my gender is all there.
No, we know what you know. Gender reveal.
What's up, brother? I'd say good to see you tonight. Thank you. What's up, brother Bay?
I'm good, man. You good?
I'm here, man. I'm
Yes,
here.
sir.
That's what's
Yes,
important.
sir.
I'm on some. I'm on some. I appreciate the invite as always.
Yeah.
Be with you, brothers.
Yeah, definitely, man. You know, definitely always, your voice, your reason is always welcome, man. All the time, brother. Give me 1 second. I'm just trying to find where this live motherfucker here. Oh,
You say
no, I'm just trying to,
Brothers, I know in the midst of all this, what we're doing, I come to find out, if you don't mind me just speaking freely,
Yes, sir. Go ahead, brother.
it appears to be an inverted lens, meaning it appears that shit is flipped. And I don't know if it's how it's being shown, but the things that are very, very precious are looked at like they're real cheap. The things that are really divine look like they're nothing. The things that are nothing appear to be superior. You know what I'm saying? And so you think about, I don't know, up is from your feet to your head, but it seems that things got twisted. So when we talk about women and men, and when we talk about gender, when we talk about some of these structures, it's like a lot of you men have this thing called ethic and standard and pride and loyalty, and that don't mean shit on this landscape. You understand?
No, sir.
Absolutely. That's why I told my mom. I said, "You ain't prepared me for this world." All that. I told mom. I said, you taught me to be honest. You taught me to be truthful, integrity, look people in the eye when I talk to them. Like all the whoopings I got when I wasn't displaying those characteristics. And now we in a world where I don't need them.
Don't need
right.
You don't need them at all.
Yeah. You don't need respect. You don't need none of that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and it's so a lot of these interactions I'm having, or I just having to reevaluate my footing. When you thought it was secure foundation, it's not no more. So to be like, and they say I need to be either get updated or I'm gonna be outmoded. One of the two. And so that's all. And so and some of these, like I said, some of these things that even with, like I said, with women and some of these concepts and just our sisters, and I realize how these lenses are showing. And it's so oxymoronic that we are the most divine, flyest being on the planet that is looked at so low. You know how much energy and effort you got to spend to make us look unfly?
Yeah.
To make us look incapable, to make us look Dumb. You know how much motherfucking time and energy and agenda, personnels and budgets you gotta put, how much brain power you gotta put into making us look subservient. It's crazy.
That's it.
Man, I just had a conversation with my daughter, man, my 17-year-old. And I've been trying to get her to understand that there's nothing wrong with you having feelings and emotions and stuff, you know, but when you're living your life through those feelings and emotions, you doing yourself a disservice.
Mm-hmm.
So last weekend, son's birthday celebration. We're driving to Florida, man. I tell everybody in the car, I can't ride past a Nike outlet. I'm a sneakerhead. So I'll say I'm stopping here, but I'm not buying nobody nothing but my son. This is what I say to everybody. Go in the Nike store. My daughter looking around. I'm looking around. My son looking around. Everybody, they looking around. We 6 deep. My son found a pair of shoes he liked. My daughter found a pair of shoes that she liked. She said, Daddy, look, I like these. So, okay, nice. I ain't buying nobody nothing but KJ. But Daddy, my birthday was on the 16th. Okay. Did you do what you wanted to do? Yeah. All right. So her mother goes and say, well, you should ask your daddy or you should say this. And her mom says something else. And I looked at her like, what the fuck is you doing? I just said, I'm not buying nobody else. Nothing. I ain't even buying me nothing. So, being the guy that says, okay, I'm going to make a compromise. For what reason I fucking tried to do that, I don't know. I say, try the damn shoes on. Try the shoes on. I turn around and continue to look at shoes for my son. Now, there's a bench literally right behind me for my daughter to sit down and try these shoes on. I look up, and she's gone. I say, hey, what the fuck? Where you at? Called her name and everything. She gone. All right, whatever. Proceed to the register. When I get to the register, her mother is there, and she's buying her the shoes. So, okay. I asked, well, where did you go when I told you to try the shoes on? She said, I went to put the shoes back. Why? Because you didn't seem like you wanted to buy them. Really? I said, okay. What did I tell you to do? You told me to try the shoes on. If I'm telling you to try the shoes on, what does that make you think? That you're going to buy the shoes? I said, are you fucking serious? That you're going to be in your motherfucking emotions and be in all this bullshit thinking that I give a shit about all this feelings and shit that you're going through. And you don't want to take the time to realize what it is that you said you wanted, you getting. You rather be in your feelings. I'm tired of this dumbass shit. Life is going to bust you across your head. Don't no fucking body on this planet give a damn about your feelings. Don't nobody give a damn about your fucking emotions or none of that. You 17. You talking about you want to go to Howard to go to college. And you acting like a fucking 2-year-old because I said try the damn shoes on instead of, baby, please try on these shoes. What the fuck is wrong with you? My daughter told me that the only energy that I have for her, or the only attention that I have for her, is negative attention at that moment. I said, you know what? Fuck it, I give up. I give up. You ride this shit out. You know better. You know everything that there needs to be known to live this life. You ride it out. Go and bust your shit wide open. I'm sick of it, bro.
Bro, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Why did you not just stick to your guns at your first word? Why did you compromise your own word?
Because I didn't want to hear the mouth.
But
You're gonna hear it anyway. You're gonna hear it anyway.
Because you compromised it. That's why you're dealing with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
just like, man.
and I know that love is because to love me is to obey me, right?
That's
It's
what it
like,
means. That's what it means
yeah,
for us. Yes, sir.
and so when it comes to, yeah, again, and sometimes some love is not all the love that we desire. It's because it's consistent, and so no means no, and
There you go.
you know, it's hard sometimes as men. We feel like, and I understand what you're saying, because it's the love for your baby girl, right? It's the love for you. You like, you know what? I don't, it's the fairness and all that, but you didn't put the work and the blood and the sweat in. That no means motherfucking no, because when it's yes, it's always yes. So when it's no, it's got to be no.
Gotta be no.
And
It's
so, and it's
gotta be.
okay. The world ain't gonna. But again, the part I'm hearing is just the fact that Mama's standing there and kind of, you know, ain't nobody got nothing to do. Everybody's in there using eyes except your son. They're just looking. Other 5 people just looking. That's what the word was. Everybody else, you just scanning. Look with your eyes. Look with your eyes. Everybody's only one pair of shoes. That's it. And Mama ain't got nothing to do with that. She's just gonna say, baby, that's it. That's it. In the real world, you know what I'm saying? That's it. And to support what the word is, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, so I laid on. I'm my word is, because again, you damned if you do, or you
You
damned.
damned if you. Y'all remember that commercial with a dude? Because it's funny because the show is called, you know, the topic is Black Man Accountability.
Yes, sir.
That's the show, and he raised some interesting points. But do y'all remember that commercial? I forgot what they were promoting, but the little girl was saying, "Daddy, can I stay up a little later?" And he was like, "All right." He was like,
Yep.
"Daddy, can I get these?" He was like, "All right." Like, "Daddy, can I wash the dishes later?" He was like, "All right." And each time she's getting older and older. So now she's like 15, like, "Dad, can I go to this party with my friends? There's gonna be some drinking there." And he was like, "No." She was like, "You never let me do anything." It's
Right.
like,
Right.
that's just what it's gonna be. You know
That's
what I
how.
mean?
And I just told my daughter, I say, if you believe that the world is going to cater to you and the way you want to feel when people say something to you, you are out of your fucking mind. Verbatim. And I don't have time to care about what I'm getting ready to say to you, because you need to understand. Fuck your feelings. Fuck your emotions and all of that. And it's hard. It hurts me to say that shit to my daughter that way, bro.
I think the
But
best thing that we could do, if I can slide in here, is use this example to deal with accountability. Like what Tone is saying is, my word is my bond. I think you, like, in that example, we are undermining ourselves when we are teaching them that people are caring about their feelings. When we, you get what I'm saying? Like when we don't
Wally,
stand
yeah,
on what we said. It's the reason why we said what we said. It's a
Right.
it's a method behind why we said this is what it is.
Yes,
You know
sir.
what I mean? And that's it. And in the moment we continue to undermine our own word, we are teaching them, because their whole goal is their whole goal is to get us to undermine it, is to get us to change it, and that's what they're supposed to do. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? That's what they're
Like,
here
hey,
for.
But that's why they are considered a test for us, man. I mean, everything we have and that we're over an authority in a position of authority over, um, is a test for us to test our will, um, our ability to say, to stick to our guns. I think that's why um, we are in the position that we are in. Is so we can, be in that position. I remember when Sister Asha was talking to me. She said that she had talked to her therapist about how her daughter, I guess her daughter would fire back at her, Dr. daughter, fire back at her. And she was like, well, every time she told her therapist, every time I say something to her, I got to deal with, her getting upset with me or saying something back, but she doesn't do that to her father. and she said the therapist told her, well, some bullshit like that women love. I don't want to say more than men, but women, I guess, love is more giving or outpouring than men. And I told her, when she told me that, I said, well, that's 100% bullshit. I said, because that's not true. Men, the reason we are like we are, and the reason we make sure that our children stick to their guns is because we have had to always stick to ours. We have always had to sit and obey. You know what I'm saying? Move it, obey, and then move. Whatever the order was, we had to follow it to the teeth. And so the thing is that because of how we are as men, and we're so orderly that no, you the same thing I follow, you're gonna follow.
Well,
The
I want
only
to.
thing that changes is when you're dealing with some weak, simple-minded, dude whose feelings was always hurt because he couldn't get his way. Go ahead, brother.
I want to interject in this just to offer some of my experience, like to share some light, because I was a nanny for 5 families.
Okay.
And I've been a women's basketball coach for 18 years. So I've coached a lot of different hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of girls, right? All colors, abilities. And like I said, being a nanny where I'm taking care of people's children, you know what I'm saying? I've been a preschool teacher. And so what I will say, there's a completely different ethic and code that all of us men have than working, like I said, with women and children. And I'll tell you what, we got a different ethic. Like we couldn't even be in the same place too long with our voices getting too elevated and too animated without some shit getting to moving real quick.
Man,
you know what I'm saying?
Talk about it all the time.
Yeah, now a kid can be walking out the door fully clothed. You can turn around, you can be butt naked. Fuck school, right? Fuck your time, fuck your job, right? It's a different code, right? A child, you know what I'm saying, and a woman, right? Who know what you can. So all I'm saying is, I'm just giving them the benefit of the doubt and the fullness that us as men, that's why we have to make the hard decision.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes,
it's because of, like you say, for us, it's cold, it's hard, it's final. Our shit is not, it's serious, right? Our existence is serious. And so theirs is not as serious like that, right? And so we don't play like that. And they play all the time in the sense.
Well, do you think, let me come in here and let me ask you a question, Tom, you and everybody. So like, reading that book, The Manipulated Man, and listening to this lady on YouTube, and she said men are expendable. And she said when the house is on fire, it save women and children. When the boat going down, it save women and children. Do you
women
think
and children? Women and children.
Do you think that that's why?
And moreover,
go ahead.
The guy that tried to save his life, they looked at him like a bitch. You know what I'm saying? He hopped in the boat. He wanted to land too.
He snuck in there. My man looked at him like, down, I said. Like, well, yeah, I'm saying, do you think that that's the reason why we are so orderly, or things have to go a certain type of way? That's my question to y'all too, and explain if you think so.
Say that one more time, brother.
So the question would be, like Tom, he was saying, what we're saying is finite. It is what it is. So the question to y'all is based upon something that I ran across on YouTube and what I ran across in the book, The Manipulated Man, where, interestingly enough, these are 2 white women who are, who I was reading and who I was listening to. And they were saying that men are expendable. And they were saying like, when the house is on fire, it save women, and children. When the boat is going down, it's save women and
True.
children.
Yeah.
Now, because of that reality, do you all think that that's the reason why we are the way we are in terms of the order and strictness and finality of our ideas, thoughts, and our words?
Yes, sir. Yes,
That's the
sir.
question.
No, yes, sir. I'm saying that is why we're like that, because we know at any given moment, especially, being a black man, we know, at any given moment that it's, it could be over, whether it's through, you know what I'm saying, through, we rushing to save our family, or we out in the world, having to protect our own life to get back home to our family, or or whether uh, um we're doing something, and at work, and it could be and something could happen, by accident. So yeah, it's like that, because the thing is, we know that, okay, this is what it takes from, this is what it's going to get, what you're going to get from me. This is ultimately it. This is what it is. I'm the reason I'm here as a man, the reason my position is what it is because my life, I'm ready to put my life on the line at any given moment before anybody here, in this household. So I'm ready to protect you and my children, or just you, whoever's in there with me at the time, at any given moment. So yeah, it's gonna be like that, because the thing is, I not only have to protect your life with my life, I gotta protect you from yourself. You know what I mean? So I can't let you go out here and, fuck around and bullshit around and wind up in some, conundrum that I'm gonna have to come get you out of anyway. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I gotta make sure that you understand that where I stand is, I gotta stand squarely and solely on that, even if it's uncomfortable to me to see you, because most of us here, we don't want to see the disappointment on our children's faces. That's the reason the brother um didn't stick to his guns with the T didn't stick to his guns with his daughter right
Mhm.
away, because he didn't want to see that disappointment on her face. So he may have said fuck your feelings, you know what I'm saying? But he be like, fuck, I don't want to fuck over her feelings. You know what I'm saying? Because that's that's just how we are. You know what I'm
All
saying?
right,
I don't know. I think
jump in there, Tom. Jump in there.
I think disappointment is a part of life. Just like all other things. Right? We don't want them to, but they shouldn't be disappointed. The expectation was really clear. Saying nothing to be disappointed when the expectation is clear.
Yeah.
But as far as us being expendable, I think it's a couple things. Like men go to war, right? We destroy shit, and I think it's like almost like the big piece of chicken. Like the bigger the risk, the bigger the reward.
Yes, sir.
Um,
The
um,
big chicken.
yeah, they feel like fuck it. But as far as and it's almost like it's the difference between value and worth.
Yes, it
Because
is.
we prioritize, like if any child, whether you knew the child or not, if you saw a car coming or something, you used to probably run and push the kid out the way. We would value the child's life more in a sense. And the same thing with the Secret Service. They signed up to take a bullet for the president or whoever. Like they feel like that life, we value that life. So when we think about a man's life when the ship going down, they feel like a man on his own is he not that he good, but a man is he left his own devices and shit. You know what I'm saying? Which is why he runs shit. You know what I'm saying? Like you say, which is why my word is bond, because like Jack was on the motherfucking boat. I mean, like they was on the boat. Jack was on the door. You know what I'm saying? She was on the door. Like they our existence like is since it's harder. So I guess it's we earn everything we get. And so I think again, we are expendable, but we blow up mountains and shit to build skyscrapers. Like there's men doing that shit. And so that's what I would say, because of war and because of the treacherous path of a man. But again, the black man's is probably the most treacherous and arduous. Would nobody want to trade it? Everybody would want it, but wouldn't want it. Couldn't walk in it. You know what I'm saying? It's his own path, and so yeah. But beyond, so and asking a question, give me your thought behind it.
So I'm gonna say this, man. I'm just sitting here thinking about my life. You know what I'm saying? And what my life has been since I've been on this planet and been old enough to understand just my sheer stature. You know, with my grandmother. You're talking about a 4-year-old kid who is damn near 4 foot tall and 80 pounds. I always felt like my job was to take care of my grandmother, look out for my grandmother, look out for the women in my family. My Aunt Shamika. We damn near the same age. We're a few months apart. And it was always, oh no, ain't nobody gonna hurt her. I've been taught since I was born to take care, to protect, to give provision, to be the individual who, you know, puts his life on the line. And then I had children. And I realized, like, whoa, I don't care what happens to me. There is 5 people on this planet that will literally make me not give a fuck about me. So hell yeah, I'm dispendable. You damn right. I will kill and die for. I will blow up my world for these people that matter most to me. I just don't. And it's really fucked up. When I was by myself, I didn't care. I'm doing me. But now that I'm no longer by myself and I got them, the level of care changed so dramatically to all I care about is making sure that they good, making sure that I give the provision of protection. I was thinking about it. We was getting off of fucking 94, man, me and my family. And the guy had just slammed on his brakes. And I swerved around the dude to not hit him. And you can imagine getting off the damn freeway. You getting off at, 55 mile an hour, 60 mile an hour. And I swerved around the dude. And, you know what I'm saying? It was summertime, so my windows was down. I was like, you stupid motherfucker. That's what I said to him. And we at the red light, right there on Cashew. He right behind me. The nigga's door swung open. And when his door swung open, the only thing I could think of was get out this car and get to him as quick as possible. And I told, my children's mother to get in the driver's seat and leave. I ain't care about me. All I care about was, making sure that they was good. So fuck yeah, my life is dispendable, and it's just what it is.
Another thing.
What's going on?
Stole my piece of chicken. I didn't
Hey, what's going on?
And I hope you choke on the goddamn phone.
Hello?
Man, they'll just put a clip in there, man.
Hey, man, you can't do that to me, man. You know I'm retired, man. Come on, man. Y'all know I'm retired. I'm thinking Richard Pryor coming to visit me or something, man.
Let me stop. I don't even know how to get out of here now.
But yeah, man, we definitely dispendable, bro.
But that's the half of it. What you think about that reality for us as men? Giving us the authority for our words to be final. Do you think that that's what gives us the authority?
I most definitely do. I most definitely do. You know what I mean? But as I transition to leaving the realm of bitch assness, to the world of manhood, well, that's a hard ass transition, bro. That shit be different. It's like El say, man, you just don't want to see that disappointment. It comes.
Yeah.
But you just, especially when it relates to your children, you always want to give them more than you had. and it shelters them from what really happens in the world. And then we call ourselves what we say that we're preparing them for it. I don't know, man. It's just it's a different animal.
Yeah, it is. But let me so let's jump into, and I know this was just a little fireside chat right here, but I want to jump into tonight's topic about Black male accountability and responsibility. What is it? How much are we to blame for in our so-called community and as far as our image goes?
This is gonna be a short podcast, right?
Go ahead.
I ain't never seen a Black man that wasn't accountable.
Okay.
It's
Well,
just
but that's not the question. The question is how much are we to blame for? Because we are always held accountable, and I think sometimes we get blamed for things in the society that just doesn't fall on us, but it is placed on us. In fact, let me start off like this. Me and the brother Aaron was at the shop today talking, and we were talking about
Aaron need a link, man. You need to
Aaron
have
won't
that.
never get on, man. I'm always sending Aaron links. I don't know what's up with Aaron, man. He just don't get on. I don't know what it is, man.
He want to talk about me.
Right, absolutely. But so we were talking today, and I said, and I talked about our image, and I said, are Black men really responsible for the image that is portrayed across the globally, not just communally, not just nationally, but globally? And he tried to give some he attempted to give some pushback by saying, do I think that we and I don't think he was actually serious. I think he was just just sort of like, I don't want to say playing devil's advocate, but he was just being more or less just, I guess, just making good on the conversation for the day. And he was saying, do I think that we've been more attacked than our brown brothers? Do I think we've been more under more scrutiny than our brown brothers? And I told him, yes, absolutely. And my reason being that, I said, you show me the birth of a nation for the Mexicans. You show me the birth of the nation for the Arab. And I'm not talking about the new birth of the nation that was done by the Black dude. I'm talking about the one that was done in the early 1900s. You see what I'm saying? That birth of the nation. And a lot of people don't know that was something that actually vilified Black men from the beginning, made us look like we were coked out, sex crazed maniacs that only wanted white women. And that was from the beginning. So I said that to him. And then I think then he said, well, what about, the image in hip hop? And I said, did we change that? Was it us that changed it? Because remember what the image that we came out with, it was almost like rock and roll, rock stars. Then we started putting on the leather coats and the hats, like Run DMC. And when you think about what Run DMC said, Run DMC first came out rapping about they were the king of rock. They didn't say they was the king of hip hop. They didn't say they was the king of rap. You see what I'm saying? So when we look at that, and then when you had you had I guess you could say NWA. I don't want to say. I guess you could say we can start with NWA. Was it really a negative image that was put out there by NWA, or were they telling the story from where they were from? You see what I'm saying? And I don't think that negative image was ours to promote or sell. I think someone took the image and made it negative in order to sell and promote it. So I mean, y'all give me your thoughts as far as the idea of the black male image, and are we to blame for its distortion in the way that it looks? What you got, Tone?
Well, first, I appreciate your perspective on it. I appreciate the question. You think about accountability, and since we're talking about like the ability to account for shit, right? Since we like, and when we're thinking about what a man, especially a brother, what a man want to do is support his family. I'm sure remember the ancestors, respect the elders, want to love the women, guide the children, and empower the community, right? We want these things come with our path, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, as far as us being just the most marketed, advertised, so we're talking about the distortion. We don't control any of the outlets that literally, like if you think about it, I was just thinking about it, like just think about it, like I'm gonna just run through it real quick, and I had to conceptually think about. You're talking about the birth of a nation. We're talking about film, right? We're talking about something that people saw, but we're talking about what is it when they created the phonograph? What does the phonograph do to the vocal? It captures it, right? It captures it, and then we think about the best mix and engineering of your captured voice is called the masters, right? And so, and that's what's valuable. We think about our image. We think about our likeness. We think about what's been recorded vocally. Everything that's been really recorded vocally before the 90s and artist deals, they control and own our image, right? And so you think about the outlets of how we're sex crazed, all this shit. They control the media outlets, whether the radio, magazine, fucking any distribution, news. They're gonna make us look a certain way. So, right, I think it has a part to do. So most of our shit, because how quick it changed, it became. It's when you know it's the they gonna say the devil's hand in it. It's the industrialization of it. And so hip hop was God's gift from the black man through our voice to the world, right? Black man's voice is hip hop, no more, no less, right? And I know the four elements, but when it evolved, from the breakdancing, graffiti, and DJing, but it was our gift to the planet, and it's been distorted, just like the image of God has been distorted, right? So it's hard to account for the damage that has done because everybody gonna follow anything we do anyway. Shit, whether it's what I'm saying. If you think about a motherfucking white tee, which is the oldest, fucking plainest thing in all material, right?
Or
we get a white tee and rock the shit out of it.
A simple mechanic rag that would happen to be red or blue, like
blue,
yeah. Anything that our hands touch is going to just. Or a do-rag, right? It's just something that it was a piece of material which and anything our hands touch. So that's what I'm saying. We so marketable that it's just like any tool, and I hate to say it, or conduit of energy that absorbs the way we do. If you're not in control of it, they can demify it, and it's hard. It's only the ones who on a path kind of undoing it, like that green shit dropping in the Matrix. It's like, because they program, but some of it. Since it isn't programming, brothers do subscribe to it, some of it, That's my 2 cents.
Yes, sir. Doc, what you got, brother?
I think, Tone really said it all. I think what's more important to me is how those images help change and distort the view of ourselves.
Yes, sir.
Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sitting here just reading through, the book Caste, the origins of our discontent, right? Mm-hmm. And she it's an amazing read because in the book she's really discussing hierarchies. Right? And so we're talking about images. But remember, the image is something that's it's projected. It's something that's being projected. Some element, some substance that's being projected. And so, from my perspective, we've been compromised since the agreed upon date, 1619.
Yes, sir.
Right? Since we'll say the agreed upon. I would argue centuries before, but fine, we'll go with 1619. And so throughout the centuries, our ancestors fought, our ancestors died, right? For us to understand, like we here for a reason.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
my
Absolutely.
issue, so my thing is, they always thought we were worthless. Well, they didn't think we were worthless because they invested in it. So, but I'm saying
That's
they
crazy, ain't it?
right, right,
Yeah.
right.
Ain't that
That's
crazy?
big though. That's big. They
Big time.
never they invested in us. But in context of what I'm saying, because I'm trying to be careful with my words, they had to place an image there in order for us to devalue ourselves
Yes, sir.
so they can maintain control. Now, the reason I think that's important is even the issues that we face with each other as black men, and specifically as our plight with black women. See, okay, you came up with the images, we just lazy. You came up with the images as you talked about the birth of a nation. That was really a reminder to make sure that you knew who black men are. They are a danger to society. The book speaks about when black men come into their puberty, how they are going to rape women. You understand what I'm saying? Like, this is what they're talking about. This is not, this is a scientific journals,
Yes,
right?
sir.
This is in journals. So you think of the concept of race itself. You know what I'm saying? It's all agenda based. So my thing is, okay, we know that's the mind of white people. We know that's the mind of a insidious and nefarious uh ideology that we can coin as racism and white supremacy. All right, cool. That's their mind state. Now we know who our enemy is. But the power of images to distort our own being, our own humanity. Remember, in her book, one of her biographies, she said one of her biographies, the Honorable Harriet Tubman said, I would have saved more, yet only if they knew they were slaves. Now that's an image that had to be projected into their minds, right? That they were not
Yes, sir.
enslaved. So my point is, I never, because we learn about Ella Baker, we learn about Martin Luther King, we learn about Toussaint Louverture, Gabriel Prosser, Dervitt Walker, Bob Marley, Huey P. Newton. You know, we learn about the Deacons for Defense. We learn about Negroes with guns. We could keep going on and on and on, but there was a vested history that we had access to, so it wouldn't allow us to distort what we think of ourselves, right? What we think of ourselves, even though the seeds of feminism was laid back then. But just think, there is a movement to only support one group of black people, black women, and there is no support for us, even coming from black women. So my issue has never been what or how white people tend to market us, because we knew who the enemy was. We
Right.
knew what his weaponry was. We already understood what that was. But how do we tend to believe that we are better than our own black woman, or our own black woman is better than us?
Right.
That has been the question that has been in my mind for a while, about
Yes.
these images to black men. It's more importantly about how they were able to distort
Yeah.
the perception of ourselves. Remember, that little girl said, they asked the little girl a question. They said, which is the smart dial? She pointed
Yep.
to the white dial. Which is the beautiful dial? She pointed to the white dial. Which is the dumb dial? She pointed to the black dial. Which is the ugly dial? She pointed to the black dial. And they said, which dial do you look like? And what people don't pay attention to is when she started to understand what she was saying before
Mm-hmm.
she said this one. It was a look on her face,
Face.
even
Yep.
as a child, that the image had been so distorted. And as a child, through those fundamental, simplistic questions about those dials, when she ended up saying, I look like the one that I just said
Just said
was
dumb.
ugly and stupid. And
Yep.
that's what we are doing today between black men
And
and
black
black
women.
women,
Yes,
which
sir.
we have no protection, because that was our line of defense. The ability to come home to a woman and she kiss you on the cheek and she wipe your wounds down, and we able to sharpen the sword and go back to defend the onslaught because we knew who the enemy was and how he was coming. That is what's more important to me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. T, you got something, brother? You got to give us something.
Checkmate.
Checkmate. All right. Okay. So with that, right. So with that, as far as how much of it are we, as far as the idea of being of crime, the idea of misogyny, how much of are we at to fought for with that, with those images? How much with those? I mean, with those labels that I just put out there. How much of it of a burden do we carry?
Zero. We carry all the burden, but we at zero fault for it. Like we said, we've got propaganda out here that's depicting us a certain way. But there's an old study that was done on dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Dogs are docile creatures by nature. Especially domesticated dogs are docile by nature. But if you take a dog and you put it in a cage or in a yard and you paint it up, and you don't feed this dog, you don't give this dog any kind of shelter, this dog reverts to a place that's animalistic because it's oppressed. Now this dog just wants to survive. So when this dog wants to survive, it's going to do all of the things that are necessary in order to continue to sustain life. That dog's going to bite you. That dog's going to gnaw at you. That dog will even try to chew its own chain until it breaks its teeth. It becomes a very vicious and volatile creature because it's been oppressed for so long. All I want to do is survive. Humans are no different. When you're oppressed, you want to survive. When you're in survival mode, you respond animalistically. And we have been put in that corner. We're on those chains. We're in those cages. The fuck do you expect us to do other than to try to survive? Hell no, we ain't that far. We don't have any systems in place to oppress ourselves.
So do you think that in many cases, in a lot of cases, that some of us have bought into the image, the negative imagery that's out there?
Definitely. Hell, it's real easy, man, when it's all you see, when the narrative is all you see. I watched something called The Truth About Hip Hop. Okay. And the guy said something that was really, really profound to me. He said, and I want y'all to finish this for me. The best part of waking up.
There's Folgers in your cup.
Right. Did you buy the Folgers album? You know what I'm saying? He asked that question. I was like, damn, that's deep as hell. Mm-hmm. When all you're seeing and hearing is this narrative, all y'all fucked up. You this, you that. You terrible. You horrible. Mm-hmm. When all you're seeing and hearing is this, to a point where now it's in your house.
Yeah.
Your mama's saying it. Your sister saying it. Your brother's saying it. Your cousins, your aunties. The TV is saying it.
Excuse me.
You start to believe it.
Yes, sir.
When you hear a lie or you tell a lie for so long, you start to believe your lie. So yeah, we bought in. Definitely.
Yeah. So what do you see as being some of the psychological, no, not the solution yet, but some of the psychological ramifications that I think, you know, from us buying into it. What do you think it has brought on us today? Where do you think it places us today?
A lot of us feel like we're unworthy. We're unworthy.
Mm-hmm.
We don't deserve it. Or if we do, you know, and that's to contradict myself. If we do, we believe we only deserve so much of it, as it relates to just having respect.
Yes, sir.
You know.
Yes, sir. Okay.
I will say, I appreciate all that you shared, T. I will say that every day as a white man in me, you know, I'm trying to kill, you know. It's like it was planted there, you know what I'm saying, in my subconscious through probably traumatic events and shit through life. But it's a psychological it's like you mentioned, starting with that, it's a psychological thing. It's more it taught me how to see me, like they were saying, like it's like no wonder. So to fight that or to counteract that is difficult on a daily basis when you sometimes you get glimpses of how the world see you. You know what I'm saying? You ever get a glimpse? One day it's like I got this joke where I'm walking, I saw a lady, she was coming, and I'm looking up like, lady, get out that tree. You know what I'm saying? Come on down. Anybody gonna hurt you? You know what I'm saying? You ever see somebody just disappear in your presence? Like,
right.
They rather dive into the street, into a bus, an oncoming bus, than walk past you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like you're like, okay, I see. It's a certain fear and so it's, but most of the I think the main ones that we I think attempt to emulate sometimes are the ones that's highly profitable. Because all of them, whether it's the sex fiend, the player, the pimp, the nigga with the gun, whatever it is, it's gonna be definitely the ones that's mostly replayed is the profitable ones that they want you to see. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
so
and the ones or the negative ones that they want us to see.
Yeah. But it's a spectrum of who we are. I think that's the thing. I think we get opportunity to show them a fuller spectrum. And I think we're accountable to that, to be in something different than what's portrayed on the wide market. Just because, like you said, you are this, and we all know that the truth isn't measured in mass appeal. You know what I'm saying? It can be the truth, and nobody have to like it. You know what I'm saying? It's just what it is. And so, so yeah, I think we're accountable to that. But it's an everyday. Like Jay said, knowing who the enemy is and having to come like fight the inside with the outside is almost never. You can't win that fight, you know.
Yeah, there's like what they call it a dichotomy or duality of being a black man, you know, in America, man. I remember when I first moved in a few years ago when I moved in my old apartment. And there was so many like Arabs and white folks around. You know what I'm saying? Whenever I would walk in or walk behind them, I'd say some shit like unarmed black man approaching. Don't be alarmed. You know what I'm saying? Just fuck with me. And they would look at me and say, what you say? You know, I was like, you know, unarmed black man, you know, don't be alarmed, you know. And they would laugh, you know what I'm saying? And but you know, it was like something that, you know, I said jokingly, but there was a part of me that felt like I need to let these motherfuckers know, you know what I'm saying, that I'm coming, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, don't get scared, you know what I mean? Because, you know, we do get so much of the negativity thrown our way, you know, the way people look at us or the way people see us. It's kind of like you're almost walking on a minefield, even in your own community. So
King
what you say?
Kong chasing that motherfucking snow bunny.
Huh?
You King Kong chasing a snow bunny.
The snow bunny. Dr. what you got to say, brother?
Really, pretty much, I'm gonna like. I realize that I got a bias towards hip hop.
Go ahead.
Like my bias towards hip hop is like people's bias towards Christianity, or towards whatever religious ideology they they subscribe to.
Yes, sir.
I just think we still kind of talking about like what Tone was saying, an image that we don't have no control over.
Mm-hmm.
So let's, you know what I'm saying? So I was arguing this while I was in Africa with Baba, because he said
Mm-hmm.
something slick about hip hop. You know what I mean? And I'm reminded by DJ Premier. He said just because you know the language, it doesn't mean you know how to listen to the music or
Yes, sir.
you understand the culture.
Yes.
So when Too Short is calling a woman a bitch, do you understand what he's saying? You know, I heard KRS-One speak of Method Man and you know, Mary J. Blige song, "What You All I Need." I remember that
Yes, sir.
classic song. And
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the song, he said, "You my nigga."
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? To deal with his
Yes, sir.
queen, his empress. He said, "You
Right.
my nigga."
Mm-hmm.
So we can't get caught up in how people outside our culture. Because remember, this is we 70s and 80s babies, man. If
Right.
you born in the 60s and this ain't this really ain't your culture. I don't want to say that because they were older at that time. So they were involved, they created it. So I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is people that's outside the culture that are
Mm-hmm.
listening to the culture, they don't necessarily understand the language. That's why I'm gonna
Right.
always bring up this Jay-Z stanza when he said, I keep saying it on this live show. Sisters give up the ass. Bitches give up the ass. Sisters, they do it slow, but bitches, they do it fast. He's speaking of a reality
Right.
of a certain type of woman in our community, right? So you can't interpret or translate what's actually going on if you don't take the time to learn the language,
Yes, sir.
to understand how we contextualize our experience, how we contextualize one another in relation to dealing with the social economic issues that we face in our communities or lack thereof. So it does go back to what image is being portrayed. But like Tone said, we just whatever we touch is gold.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? But again, it goes back to what I was saying, that we sort of distort the image of ourselves.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because white men has placed a number value or a dollar amount on hip hop. And now we got people that honestly believe don't nobody want to hear nobody like Skillful the Free One. Don't nobody want to hear KRS-One. Don't
Right.
nobody want to hear Nas. No, it's not. It's not the radio stations. It's not the A&Rs. It's not record execs. It's not fair to accuse these people that all they want to do is make money and they don't care about the culture. Well, if all they want to do is make money, they're going to put out things that are profitable.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
Tone said, who makes the music profitable? We do,
We do.
right? We're saying that, oh, Scarface is the shit, Too Short is the shit, right? If you're talking about movies, if you're talking about, you know, the number one consumers of the number one people, the number one consumers of just everyday television, those who watch TV the most, not the consumers, but those who watch TV the most, black people,
But yeah.
black people. So at the same time, you sitting here, we bitching and moaning about black shows that's being ripped off television, right? We don't see any positive black families. We don't see, are we demanding that?
We're not.
Right. And why don't we demand that? Because we think we are a powerless people.
Yeah.
We have our image of us has been distorted in our own mind. So now when I listen to Too Short, I'm like, man, all he do is call black women's bitches. But when he's thinking about this woman who was in this situation, who has shown herself to be a certain way because of her experiences, it doesn't even mean that he's looking down on her. We tend to classify things. We call
Right.
men simps.
Yes, sir.
We call them simps, right? Because he's weakening what we would consider masculinity. He's not he's not acting masculine. And when he's not acting masculine, he's throwing off the expectations that women should have. We are doing that. We should do that as men. I think that's what Abnorm was saying. We should shame these people. But when it comes to entertainment, poets, when it comes to hip hop and these images, again, it seems as though we have allowed other people to distort the image of ourselves. So when Lupe Fiasco say they wrapping up being kings, dumb it down. But who is he saying dumb it down to? Is he talking to the record execs? Because they don't give a fuck. They want what's profitable, but we have to dumb it down to you. This is what we have to do so you can relate to it and spend your money on it. So that's kind of where the issue is for me in terms of image.
If you think about 1983, think about the albums that came out, like Lionel Richie, like Tina Turner, like Purple Rain, like Stevie Wonder, like a lot of these. I don't know if Thriller came out in '83. But what I'm saying is, at that time, none of them really owned their masters to all that music. You know what I'm saying? It's like the outlets of control. Like they didn't control the A&Rs. Like they didn't control their images that they put out to us.
No.
Like and to this very day, and the people who can control our image, who amass enough resources to be able to, it's like from mainstream. I think we're different between mainstream and underground, and it's a few other levels, but it's some fair, real ways that we're being portrayed. It just won't be broadcasted on these. You know what I'm saying? On some of these, like things like this. You know what I'm saying? With these frequencies, as far as the like NBCs and the things that's gonna really shift thought. You know what I'm saying? I think we could never expect that until we build it ourselves. You know what I'm saying? You know, like that's the only way to really fairly, like, can't nobody represent none of y'all households like y'all, for real, right? And so the goal is for us to create those vessels.
So let me ask you about this, man. So since we're talking about building things ourselves and controlling the image that's out there, what do you think? How could we? What would be the first baby step that we can take into controlling that image or regaining control of that image?
I think T mentioned something about the steps of growing up. And I think, and it could be bitch assness or whatever, but I think for some of us, especially as men, it's a rite of passage that's missing.
Yes,
right?
sir.
Yes,
Right,
come
and the rite of like it's like a rope. Right? I think I call it like a rite of passage experience. It's like almost like programming, like reprogramming young males. Because it is to have no blueprint on how to be and who to and how to react and some of those basic things. A lot of these. Because I'm gonna tell you what this young man said to me. He was 19 and he was talking about how over feminized he was and how upset he was at it. That how it wasn't his fault. He was like, yeah, I realized a lot of man shit I don't even know. He's like, I ain't even. He's like, we say we act like our mothers. We, you know what I'm saying? And he's like, I don't know shit about this or that. And I had no blueprint, but I really want to learn. And I mentor him a little bit. But the reality is, some of these young men acknowledge the fact that it's a blueprint of manhood that's missing. It's almost like some people going, it's like we don't know it until it's time. Almost like swimming. If your ass can't swim, it's like you're comfortable on land until you get around water, right? Then it's a certain dis-ease, right? Around space and environment. Same thing. And I think some of these young men, it's a code. Like, because I had 6 uncles, 2 big brothers, a lot of foster brothers, a lot of friends, a lot of male, and we learn there's a difference between boy strength and man strength, right? Difference between intellect and wisdom and lessons, right? And fairness and fighting and fucking, and it's a lot that come with this. And sometimes, again, that's one step. It's us creating a collective understanding of some steps that we could offer, that we could collectively put together that young men can interface with or you know, something like that. I think that's one step. Like, because let's start with the young people behind us, in the sense, coming up to have some, and whatever that looks like. Again, I know manhood has expanded because it's always been so in the box. But that's one thing.
You basically saying having a collective of information over years to pass down. I said it on one of our podcasts before. You know, me being, 44, you being, 40 whatever you are, L being 40 whatever he is, and we're all pouring information into each other. That number becomes, 120. That's 120 years of experience that we can do an 18-year-old who's only got 18 years of experience.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now
It's got to be codified into culture, though.
I
think that's the point with Tone. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt.
I get that, but I'm saying that we don't have it no more. There is not very many of us that are pouring that level of experience into our children because we're so young and we're inexperienced. Our families are not living, the men in our families are not living as long. And if we are living as long, we're not able, for the most part, to be that version of what we have to be, because we're so stuck on trying to be accepted, I think, for the most part. Yeah, instead of just, like I should have did, instead of just put your foot down and this is what it is. So we just kind of like, we're not passing on that information like it should be passed on.
I think it has happened to us. I'm sorry, Doc, you was about to say something?
No, I think Tone was about. I was gonna jump in later.
Oh,
Tone,
okay. I'm sorry, Tone. Okay, I'm sorry, Tone.
I think in time, brothers, I promise you, in time, our word gonna be gold. Our word gonna be gold. Our experience here, for what we've been through, is gonna be. It is, our experience is like no other. Our plight is like no other. Like you say, we the fittest of the fittest of the fittest of the drama and oppression our families and tribes have faced.
I think one of the, I don't mean to cut you off, but I think one of the attributes that you missed, I think about every brother on this panel today, is resilience. We are all of us on here have been through things, in life, trials in life, that we have been able to, like, I don't want to say brush off our backs, but we have learned how to either brush it off over time or let it fall off over time, or we have learned how to carry it with us and use it as ammo, but not in a negative way, as positive ammo. We have learned how to use it in ways that we have, where we can use it to fertilize other crops that are coming up, and build and help them to understand what it is. So I didn't mean to cut you off, brother. You go back to your point, but I just, just listen to what you was just saying. I said, no, this is a resilient group on this panel right now.
Yeah, right, and I say I'm in Ra. Yeah, I definitely will support all that, because I mean that go without saying. But I'm glad this can't be understated or overstated, that we are, like I say, that's what I'm saying. We're a living manifestation of our ancestors' visions. We have the capabilities, knowledge, and skills, and togetherness again. So it takes that, and they need to see that. Right, as men, as we get older together and we share experience together, they need to see us like in tribe. These young men need to see the collective to be able to be invited to. Right, they need to see the power of unification. These things are, I think they're attractive, and I think they're necessary. And then the time when it's time to mobilize, they need things. They need shit to do. Right, they need to lift some shit and push some shit, and go in conflict, any challenge, right? And they need it in safety. And that's
we gotta have it. We gotta have it.
And so they need that challenge. Because again, shit ain't. I remember doing chores. Remember doing chores and the shit wasn't done till somebody came and checked your work.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. You thought you was done. Clearly, your standard of some shit and grandma's standard was different. Yeah. So, or you got called back inside. You thought your shit, you was preemptive in your playtime and shit, and got cut short. And so that's what I'm saying. So we had standard. Our shit was checked. You knew it was done. It was signed off. You know what I'm saying? We certified. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of these, and I think we owe it to these young men, to offer them that. And because of, again, the plight of a lot of the women, you know what I'm saying, it's a lot of, that's all. I think of programming. That's all I'm thinking. But I don't want to keep talking. But I think of programming in some sense is one sense and a way to say, hey, and again, when we're having daughters, I'm a man. I'm always gonna be a motherfucking man. This is a man. This is how a man is when I'm hurt. This is how a man is when I'm joyful. It's a man when he cried. It's a man when he got money. It's a man when he busted. It's a man when he down. It's a man when he up. And so I'm not gonna be nothing but that. So that's all I can do is show them that. And it was that had proven to be the most valuable thing that I could ever give them. And so that's it's a foundation of manhood that's elastic, because it ain't what they say, because we've all had to, do, whatever they think a man can't do. I'm sure we all had to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. While we're talking, I had one of my daughters isn't talking to me right now, right? Because but being me being the type of father I am, I'm very open with my children. I invite them to be very open with me. And my baby, she don't want to talk to me. Because I checked her on her dating prowess, I would say. And so she got upset with me because I said to her, no, baby, that's not how this thing, goes. This is not going to be something that's going to be very comfortable for you to talk to me about, because daddy's here to check that shit. And I'm here to let you know that no man or wants a woman that has had a lot of partners, and no woman should want to have a lot of partners. I'm not saying she has had a lot of partners, but it was something her mother had told me to talk to her about. Now, I didn't ask her to count or any of that and none of that shit. But her mother told me, just said that she had been going out. She'd say, so just talk to her, about what's going on. So I talked to her, and she pulled the typical modern teenager, 20-year-old bullshit on me, to try to talk and, try to sound clever, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, I'm listening to her and I'm like, sweetie, this, I say, this ain't no game. I say, you could try to sound as clever as you want to, but this ain't no fucking game. And I'm serious now, because daddy was trying to be kind in our talk, but this ain't no fucking game. You need to, buckle down and concentrate on other things besides, going out on dates and all of this shit. Now, if whatever the fuck she's doing is what she's doing. She's an adult, right? I can't stop that. But as a father, I have to speak to it, and I spoke to her when she was a young lady. She waited till she was good and, shit. I think she waited till she was 18 before, what I'm saying, she went out on her first date or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? And now, she's getting older, she's starting to date more. And I'm like, no, we don't need to do that. You don't need to give these dudes your energy, even if you spend the time with them. Because the thing is, like, from your father's perspective, this, they're not. Have you found someone that has been really, really worthy of your time in that? And then I'm hearing that you're arguing with me and that you're talking, kind of hard to him. No, baby, that ain't what this shit is about. Because you go out on a date, with the wrong motherfucker, I'm not gonna see you no more. I'll be able to have this talk with you. So she was upset with me. Then I guess she went and told her mother, and I'm like, well, you the one told me to talk to her. Well, you gotta, she wanted to control how. No, you told me to talk to her. I'm gonna talk to her. You don't, dictate to me how the fuck I talk. What the fuck is wrong with you? You know what I'm saying? So then after that, me and my daughter talked again, and I said, she was like that, I ain't even mention that to her. She was like that. I appreciate you talk to me. I said, yeah. I said, I just want you to hear something right quick. So I asked the fellas, I say, fellas, do we, how do we see women with a lot of bodies? And the fellas like, nah, that was just the consensus around the shop, you know what I mean? And I said, so then, I got back on the phone with her. I said, see, baby, see what I'm talking about. Now, no one knew who I was talking to, right? No one knew who I was talking to. I just asked a question to the shop. You know what I'm saying? This young lady calls me and told me, Dad, that was really mean what you did to me. I said, baby, nobody knew who I was talking to. As a matter of fact, I don't think nobody even knew I was on the phone. You know what I'm saying? Because there were so many other conversations going on in the shop. I just asked a question. You know what I'm saying? And got back, you know what I mean? And so that real fuck your feelings came out. No, fuck how you feel about this. Your dad asked something so you can see how the community talks, how men talk, so you can understand, where you should stand, not how you should be feeling about something because you like somebody. Give a fuck about like. You know what I'm saying? I get so sick of that shit. And I told her not to tell her. I said, you know how many hoes I fucked over because they like me? You know what I'm saying? That's what the fuck we do.
Let me interject.
Go ahead.
Let me interject. My daughter, my youngest daughter, Ruby, she just touched down. She just got to her mother's house. She came back from Texas.
Yes,
and she was with her boyfriend for the last 3 days in Texas. All right. I got a 20-year-old daughter who has a boyfriend. They live in Findlay, Ohio. She's 20. Both of them are two of the most responsible people I know.
Mm-hmm.
But in saying that, again, I told you I was a coach for 18 years, hearing a lot of conversations. Girls, a lot of conversations, a lot of things, in saying this, and most of us know this to be true. Most women that you know are in situations because they disobeyed their fathers.
Yes, sir. Yes,
right?
sir.
Whether a girl gonna hop on the motorcycle. So the thing is, whether you like, we've all probably been that guy or probably knew somebody. Your father, whether he like you or not, a woman gonna do what she gonna do any fucking way.
Yeah.
They are. So I realized for me, it's best to love and support them through it. Because the thing I don't want is to put a wedge between me and my daughters, and they doing what the fuck they think they're gonna do anyway. Being involved in all steps of the process, and I trust them, and they really love the young ladies. And I realize for young ladies and girls, I'm dealing with women all the time who in situations, even the women I was with kind of just hop on the nigga's motorcycle. He love you. You just said you somewhere in another country. You having baby. You just women are gonna make these decisions, right? Of course, we want to help guide them and love them and stay with them, like you say, because we all got jail time for a nigga who disrespect our babies, right? Our mothers, our women, and our daughters, right? And our families. So I don't know. And girls just don't know how much drama they can potentially put people in. Just fucking with the wrong person. You know what I'm saying? They don't know. They just don't know. They really, it escapes them. When you say going by your feelings, I think you're right to all the advice you're giving there is correct. I would just say, girls, man, it's it's a massage. You got a massage. It's like you chase something, you run away. Like you stand up. Like girls gonna test the shit. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna test it. But I've seen it. I've seen it. Coach, I'm pregnant. Oh, coach, I ran away from home. Coach, my boyfriend beat me. Coach, I like a girl. Coach, I'm like, look, the first thing I do is go tell the AD, like, hey, we gotta tell somebody. I wanted to hear this shit. But girls are just, all I would say is just, how many daughters you got?
2.
Are they both adults?
No, one is on the way to high school. One is an adult.
Okay. One of my daughters, she's a senior in high school, but she's on the college campus, and the other one in their 3rd year of college. But I don't know. T, you got daughters? You got 117, right?
Got 3.
3. How old are they?
17, 13, and 9.
Oh, okay, yeah. You'll do everything and anything.
It's a torture.
Yeah, he said torture because you can't win. You ain't got no power. You have no power here.
Torture.
Mortal.
That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like
I think we need to start investing in chastity belts again. Then they'll understand this.
It's like to trust the world with them. It's like I can't. I know what I used to do with men's daughters. You understand? Yeah. I know that more than most people. I used to look men's in the eye, and you know what I'm saying? Look them in the eye, and I know but here's the thing about it. Here's the thing. The true thing about it. I never forget. I dated Miss Michigan, and I was 19, and she was 19, and her mother and her father drove us to Chicago, to the Amtrak. We was catching the train, and the mom was all kind of geeking. The dad kind of just was looking at me.
Mm-hmm.
Just had this look, and he said, "All right," and he turned around and said, "Come here," and he shook my hand so fucking tight, and he said, "Have fun." Yeah, but not too much fun, right?
Yes, sir.
I had his daughter, but the reality is, being a righteous young man, I had no ill intentions for his daughter, right? Of course, I was attracted to him. Of course, I wanted to love him, protect him. I cared about him. I know that his daddy didn't like it one bit no more than I like my daughter going to Texas, no more than I like her living with her boyfriend. But they, as adults, that's their bodies, that's their life. However, a lot of other decisions, that's their decisions, and I think it's best that I learn, and it's like as I'm fathering, because they're only gonna get older, we're always gonna be in each other's life. I don't want to push them away with what but again, they making the decisions that that they know exactly what they want and they desire, and so I'm staying out the way. I'm always gonna give the advice and love and support, but my expectations already been laid, man. So I don't know. It's gonna be nice.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly what I was doing. It was just me, letting her know, what time it is, but then it's that shit that comes back. Go ahead, brother.
Let me jump in here a little bit. Being a guy, because I'm on the phone with like 2-3 hyenas in their day. So, what Kanye say? Until you have a daughter, that's what they call karma, and you pray to God they don't grow breasts too soon.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah. I was really a good dude. I was a good dude. So, like, you know what I'm saying? I look at it completely different because I wasn't a hyena out here. Like, we dealing with this dude Tone. I'm not gonna go all the way there, but he kind of was like a legendary hyena. Like, and Mr. T, all y'all just I get to gloat a little bit on here. You fucking animals, you word. Oh, you guys. I get to gloat. Like it feels good. Like
I don't have no idea what the hell you talking about.
Yeah, you do. That's why you got a smirk on your face. So I'm saying, like, for me, yeah, I guess I get to approach it a little different. I always, for the most part of my life, y'all.
You flip your coin yet?
You said who?
You flip your coin yet, Harvey?
Oh, I flipped it. I flipped. Well, that's the thing. Like, that's another discussion. How can you take the guy? How can you take it? Tone was we 13, 14 in it.
Yeah.
Tone and looked at me and like I said, well, why do we have to call them bitches?
Bitches.
And Tone used to be like, because they are. They got to have this conversation with you. We young and dumb, but now I'm the one leading the charge to get away from these motherfuckers. So, But I wanted to have a little fun, like being that I was a good guy, growing
You
up,
absolutely were a good.
and these guys are
Can you
hyenas
tell
on.
us
But
some of your
No,
depressing stories?
wait, wait. I want to say this. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, here
What
we
I'm
go.
saying is, it's not that. Of course, I mean, I was over. Dude, our music was so over sexualized. Two Live Crew was audio sex ed.
Here we go.
Okay, that's what we listen to at house parties. It's not that I only wanted to have sex with them, right? I appreciated them for I did. It wasn't just like bang 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 bang. It was like it was definitely I
It
found
was a
value
lot
in
of.
it.
It might have been like
No, you
bang, bang, bang. It was.
Yeah.
Who was that?
You get the call.
Sorry, I'm gonna decline that.
Oh, yeah. It wasn't like bang, 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 but it was like bang, bang, and then I'm like, Tone, you good? Just like I don't know why I just so happened to lose interest after I bang, but I really be in it. I be feeling them, but I love you, brother. I love you. It was just he really was notable. Like I really be rocking with him, man. It just
We'll learn that the chase and the desire of temptation is the greatest. It's the greatest. It's the greatest drive. It's the hunt and the luring. No, I'm joking. No, man. And so
like, I'm sitting on the phone with Jasira, like we all talking, like I'm in the bed with my daughter and we just talking about the little boy she like and and what she feeling and this, that, and the third, and able to, be there. And I just remember just being a good guy, just showing her like, you know what I'm saying? So I don't have that anxiety, like that toxic, you know what I'm saying? That like that like Tony
I don't know,
said.
but this one thing I do want to say. This is what
I'm
I
joking,
do.
though. I'm joking. I'm just having fun.
No,
Go ahead.
not just that, not just that, but when it comes to a lot of the like I had my Trey moment when I was young after getting pistol whipped over there at the party on 3 Mile. When Phil we jumped into it, right? And so when I had a decision with a gun in my hand and go back around and shoot up the house and make a choice to not get involved, or when it comes to us as fathers, or as husbands, or as spouses, or as we evolve, right, and we grow and we change the narratives. And I do think when it comes to I think with this ease, I think healing is possible, right? I do think we can heal. I think it steps toward healing. I think it's a process, but I think it's definitely a direction toward that. I think with coping mechanisms and shit that we don't sometimes have at our disposals, or we choose not to access, but it's ways to find reconcile, and it is everything ain't always so staticky and noisy and shit.
Yes, sir.
And pain written. So, but I think as a people, because we wouldn't be here if we didn't have, like I said, the will to survive is more than just that on that margin line. It's that, like I said, all the coping mechanisms and shit we had to go inside most of the time. You know what I'm saying? Go into the basement, go into the corner. Before we had to reconfigure shit and transform. So that's the Black man. That's who we are. So I think that's the creation in us. But
hey,
yeah, so
but you mentioned that, Tone. T Doc, I want to ask y'all a question. If y'all not willing to share, just say decline, or just decline. Period. What, since we talking about having that will to survive and dealing with things as well, as our image. What was some of the creative ways that you all was able to that you used to help cope with some of your maybe some insecurities or shortcomings that you all have?
I want to tell you this. I don't know nobody in none of my friend circles ever in the history of life to get more ass whoopings than me.
Okay.
Period. Point blank. Except my two.
So with that and going out into the world, What was one of the creative ways that you dealt with that?
Well, what I'm saying is it's from my mother. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying that not to talk down on my mother, but I'm saying that when you abuse that home at a place where you're supposed to feel safe, right? You look at the world, and sometimes you can be shown kindness in the world that you didn't see in your home.
Okay.
So it helped me, like, okay, sometimes, like, because you learn that your family are the ones supposed to protect you, right?
Yes.
But then you learn quickly that you got to protect yourself from your family. So the world, you're already going into the world with guard up. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And so the creative things you had to go inside, like again, writing.
Okay.
That was my escape.
Yeah.
No, when I got the opportunity to liberate myself through the word, and then I got the opportunity to see growth in writing, and then I started to achieve in different shit using the word, and it was my escape from, like, I used to win spelling bees and win essay contests, and my mother I used to forge all my permission slips. She didn't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? I was to get it to escape my life.
The reality.
Yeah, my reality was the right. I wrote something that came out in the Free Press. It was in the front page. It was like I call it a ghetto Robert Frost paragraph and shit. And it was about the descriptive about my conditions. And I won his prize, but my mama beat my ass because I was putting her business in the street. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So that's
And my outlet was violence,
okay.
controlled violence. Like, I dealt with so much shit. Literally, I literally dealt with shit from the time I was about 4. It was just nonstop.
Yeah.
It was like an onslaught. So when I was introduced to controlled violence, football, boxing, those were the 2 things that really helped me deal with it, because I was able to take out all of that anger, all of that frustration, and all of that pain, and it was a good thing.
Yeah.
The harder I hit this dude, the better everybody looked, the better everybody saw me, the how good I was. I was admired for that. And looking back on that, bro, that was probably some really destructive shit for me.
Yeah.
But that was how I coped.
That's how you cope. Doc, you want to go or you want me to go, brother?
You can go. I go last.
Okay. Okay, because I'm still and I'm and I even hate to admit this shit on him. Like, I've always been like this extremely shy person. You know what I'm saying? And I still not comfortable doing this, right?
So but that was being a slut.
No, that was not an outlet. That was not an outlet, nigga. That was a conquest. No, that wasn't an outlet for me. No, that was destiny. No, what it was is, for me, what I did, and my creativity had to happen on the inside, in my head, right? So by me being like this really shy person, man, like almost like to the point to where if I could have wore a blanket to school, I would have wore it to school to cover a cloak and cover myself up, because I hated to be seen. I hated attention. And it had nothing to do with, I don't believe, with, I started off with my violence. My first image of violence started when I was 1. My father was holding me and he was beating my mother, and she stabbed him in the jaw with a knife on the side that he was holding me on, just missing me. And I still can see her swinging and then her grabbing me. I don't know what happened after that. I just know, you know what I'm saying? And then after that, it was just seeing violence, domestic violence, all type of violence, right? So, but I don't know if that had anything to do with me being, as shy as I was. So, what I would do when I learned to do this when I was about 12 years old. I was in 7th grade, and I was so nervous about going to do stuff because like you said, we do spelling bees and things like that I would know how to spell words, but I would fail. So I would spell a word right. Then I say, okay, by the time they come around to me again, I'm spell it wrong so I can sit my ass down. You know what I'm saying? So I had to get over that. And so what I did right in my brain was I built this stadium in my head. I think I told Doc this. I built this stadium in my head. And in this stadium was a bunch of seats. And
Yeah,
in
you
each
told me.
seat, there was a stage in the middle of the stadium, and it had a spotlight and a microphone. And in this stadium was a bunch of seats, and all those seats were versions of me that I needed to speak. So it would be, if I needed to be spelling bee or intelligent Mar to get up and talk, I would close my eyes, take a deep breath, and that's the one that would take the stage. It almost sounds like personality disassociation disorder, but it wasn't. It was just parts of myself that I needed to get comfortable with. You know what I'm saying? So even like before I do this, my wife would tell you I get nervous as hell. And this ain't shit. But I get nervous and say, "Oh shit, baby, I gotta take a pregame shit. I'll talk to you later." You know what I'm saying? Because I get nervous before I do this shit, man. So that was, so it was like that was my way of coping with stuff. Was I would pull like from the audience, like Marta's about to get the math problem wrong on the board. Get up and come up here. And I take a deep breath, and then I could walk up there and I could be more relaxed. You know what I'm saying? Because it was like I was almost stepping outside of myself into a different version of myself that knew what was about to happen. You know what I'm saying? That knew, okay, well, I know how to do this shit, but if I do this shit, I'm gonna fuck up. So I need to get the one that knows how to be cool and get up here and do this, like the spelling. You know what I'm saying? I was an immaculate speller. You know what I'm saying? And do stuff like that. But then I knew I wasn't good at math. So, all right, we need the bozo. Come on up here, clown. And you know what I'm saying? Like the one that didn't know how to do math, but wasn't ashamed to get it wrong so he could learn. You know what I'm saying? So I would, so that was just my way of coping, though. Go ahead, Doc. It's on you, brother.
I want to ask that you and Tone, just in case people hearing this live or listen to it later, piggyback on what I'm about to say in terms of and my brother, all three of y'all, if y'all can piggyback about my personality and my character in terms of growing up. You know what I'm saying? Me and Tone met each other, I was 14 years old. Me and Adisa a little earlier because the relationship is ironically I met both of you November 9th boys because of my sister.
Right.
Because of Keisha and Shauna's relationship, and Tone was actually dating Shauna.
Oh, wow.
And we got cool. He thought he was gonna take me to the basketball court. He like, I'm dating this little chick, so I'm gonna try to be cool with her, take her brother to the court and fuck over. We probably really can't hoop. I'm just gonna try to be cool. He took me out there and had a rude awakening.
Yeah, it didn't go the way I thought. Not go the way I thought.
But just if you all can piggyback on me, you will see where I'm going. We talk about coping mechanisms. So I'm gonna start off by saying, Adisa, there was something that you let me hear, I believe, from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, where he talked about fatherhood, and he talked about the hood serving the hood and father serving as a what again? Can you break that down for me before I elaborate on what?
It was a covering of the head, but the covering was the intelligence in which that the father should govern his children, that the father should raise his sons, thus forth and so on.
Now, notice we've heard from my brothers here on this panel, and my brother Tone, he didn't have his father in the home. He had a different type of relationship with his father. My brother Adisa Bey, he didn't have his father in the home. He had a different type of relationship with his father. Mr. T, he didn't have a relationship with his father. So the covering that these three gentlemen had, they was forced to come up with creative ways to cope with certain things. Well, Dr. had a covering. Dr. had a
Yes.
covering 24/7. He, I had a covering 24/7. So the various things that we all went through, we may not have went through them in the same way because I was shielded and protected from the rain by my father's hood.
Yes, sir.
So we spoke in an earlier show about my children being taken away from me for 9 years. And I was asked about how I dealt with that pain. And what I shared was that I don't really remember the pain because I was taught how to heal.
Okay.
Right. I was taught how to heal, how to forgive, and things of that nature. So I really never really had a coping mechanism because my father would tell me, you are not special to anybody but me and your mother.
Mm.
That's what my father would tell me. You ain't special to nobody but me and your mother. And we gonna let you down.
Mm.
So there is no reason for you to have any expectations about anyone else letting you down. So I was armed, and you got to understand, like that was embedded and seared into my mentality. It is the reason why I think my gift is empathy, and I'm able to forgive. One other thing he would share with me was being able to take accountability, right? Accountability, and I always say there are two words: account and ability. Count serves as what? That something has taken place. And the ability part serving as in order to know how to do something in order to reconcile that which has taken place.
Right.
So that's how I view accountability, right? So he always told me to be real with myself. The worst thing you could do is to lie to yourself. Now that, of course, does not allow me to escape hurt. It does not allow me to escape disappointment. It does not allow me to escape pain, right? I just didn't necessarily have to come up with a coping mechanism for things that I thought would happen in nature.
Mm.
Um, so what I would do, this is what I'm asking my brothers, is what's he go? What's on that?
You there?
Oh, you
Think
muted me?
he got a little something going on.
Okay, all
He's
right.
there.
Well, I'm asking you all to piggyback on it because this is something you all alerted me about. Um, my father taught me to talk to myself. He taught me to go deep inside, and he taught me to have self knowledge and understand self. So, do you all remember, or do you all remember how I dealt with things in terms of just disappearing? That's what I
Right.
want y'all to speak to.
Yeah. Yeah.
If all of you will, and give me like maybe 30 seconds. Disa, do you remember?
Yes, sir.
What do you remember about that?
That I thought you was like a gay ass nigga. Like nigga, I tried to call you, nigga. I ain't got nobody to talk to, nigga. No, it was it was one of those things, man. Like when you dealing with people, you kind of like say, all right, I know you. First, you think like, yo, is this brother turning his back on me? then when I hear from you, I'm like, oh no, man, I'm cool. I was just, just chilling. You like, oh, okay. Then you realize, oh, that's just how the brother is. You know what I'm saying? Because for me, like, and I'm and I don't want to. I'm not gonna take up your time, but just for me, just knowing how, just seeing people turn their back on me, over time, in my life, it was like, shit, fuck, this nigga, I thought this was my guy, you know what I'm saying? But then once you learn that's how you are, then you're like, oh, okay, it's cool then, you know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
But that was it.
Tom, you got anything for me?
I would say, I've been knowing Jay maybe 30 years, and Jay has went AWOL a few times in our friendship, where I would have to find him and locate him, because it's so funny how Jay can be so wise in so many areas except basic technology. Except basic technology, like phone.
Yeah, that's what I thought you said.
And arrows and shit. You know what I'm saying? This is,
Yeah.
And so
this nigga is
sometimes,
new Rockstone.
And so a phone, there's a few times where I took it personal, where I had to let him know basically at the end of the day, I think you alluded to, but how important he is in my life. And so like it's only a few people that I can get from what I get from him, the exchange I get. And saying that, so I know he went underground for a few different reasons in life, because we all go underground sometimes, but so yeah, I can say that if that's to again, he go where he need to go, and like say in the closet, to make sense of it, to grow from it, to transform and shit like that. So yeah, I definitely can attest to that.
You got anything, bro?
Yeah, nigga, you know what I got. This motherfucker will lock himself in a bathroom for weeks at a time with a bunch of books. You know what I mean? What you would do, you like everybody said, man, you disappear in order to process. When you come out, like, I've processed whatever it is that I was dealing with. Like, I remember when Christmas when you bought all of the gifts and stuff for the kids that you knew you weren't going to see, but you wanted to be prepared to give them those gifts, and you weren't able to do that, and you had already told me that you knew you wasn't going to be able to do it. Just you was telling me how you went in the bathroom on Boston downstairs, man, and you just kind of like put a speaker in there and tried to write and cry.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You just removed yourself from all of the world that you knew. You know what I'm saying? In order to get wherever it is that you needed to get to.
All right. Listen, I appreciate all y'all perspective about that. The only reason I ask is because sometimes when I'm speaking, people might think that I'm self-righteous or I'm trying to act in a certain manner. You get what I'm saying, Adisa?
You said that you what?
Sometimes when I'm speaking, people just trying to say, "Oh, that nigga, he always on some other different shit."
Oh yeah.
But I wanted to kind of bring validity to the point, and the point is that was I wouldn't necessarily consider it as a coping mechanism. It was just a way in which I had to see and figure out my reality and how it fits in the realm of actuality.
Yes, sir.
Because if you want to know what my coping mechanism was, it was my father. Period, point blank.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes. And that's a beautiful coping mechanism to have, man. Especially coming from, and I could probably speak for from where I'm looking at the crescent on here, and not having that that father to go to, or not having, what was so crazy about growing up is, and I wonder can Tone and T they attest to this. Not having someone speak to you about yourself, having to figure out who you were on the fly, having to figure out manhood. I remember me and my brother, we would go out, and go to my friend's house when I was in middle school. He would go with me. My little brother used to always be with me. And I remember, man, like going over there, like, like shoot, no good shoes to wear. One time I think I had a dead roach on my clothes or some shit, and it was embarrassing as fuck. And I remember the way I had to reconcile going through that was the idea or using the ideology that it doesn't last forever. Now I'm 12 years old. Again, I'm walking around trying to convince myself this not gonna last forever. This not gonna last. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna get better. It's gonna get better. And so that was something, that was another way, I was able to, get through a lot of stuff. That's how I get through a lot of shit now. That's how I, I was always able to teach my children, you can adjust to tough times. Tough times never can adjust to you. You know what I'm saying? And there's like, even if the times get tougher, you're still able to adjust and figure it out. So,
I want to say this, and it kind of like piggybacks off of what I was saying when I was saying being able to have all those years of knowledge being poured into someone, because men learn from experience. You know what I mean? That's literally the only way we learn is from experience. And you know what I mean? I don't think that we really recognize how important the experience is. So right now I'm going to do something that epitomizes the emotional part of us and that experience. And I'm going to say I'd like to thank Spunk, you know what I mean, for being a father to shit, every last one of us. And what he did
Oh,
was
wow.
poured so much into his son that his son is able to pour that he learned and add that he's experienced to it and be a voice for us.
can you familiarize us, with Spunk, brother?
Spunk is Doctari's father.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And being able to actually have family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Jadakiss says one of my favorite lines. He say, friends become family when they've been with you the longest.
Mm-hmm.
And like this shit make it tear up because I'm recognizing some shit. Being a kid that was lost and looking for, the right path, the right guidance, the right understanding into what manhood becomes or what it is for me, not knowing who the fuck I am and who I wanted to be, you know what I mean? And then having dudes like y'all, you know what I'm saying, be a part of that process. It's a beautiful thing. You know what I'm saying? And it's just the kudos, you know what I'm saying? That's all it is. It's just the kudos to be able to share in that, you know what I'm saying, to be a part of it. And thinking about having a son. I got a 7-year-old son that I get to give all of the information that I get from my life experiences, Adis's life, Tone's life, and his experiences that he shared, and bro life. And what his dad gave him, I get to take a lot of that and pour that into my son and prepare him to do something that I was unprepared to do. That's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
See, in saying that, this is and just so happens that right now, my father is one of my best friends and leaders still. Our relationship has changed since I found him. But that's how I know truth is passed. Like a father, a real father won't teach their children anything wrong. Right? You won't lead your child astray. A father, it's not in the father's will. So the word of the father, so that's how important the word of the father is.
Mm.
That's how important that's what builds from the father to his son ears, or to his daughter's ears, to the ears of his seed. Like the word of the father has to be, as we go back and go full circle, T, like when you mentioned at the top, the word of the father is what completes the cipher.
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Yeah, it's our yes is yes, our no is no. That's it. And that's what we let it be so. And so and that's in regards to, they say people can compromise situations but never compromise ourselves. And so it's like, it's times where we're gonna win or lose with just our word. You know what I'm saying? And so and that's what we prepared to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
For sure.
But I appreciate you opening up, T. I do. I really appreciate you sharing.
Yeah, me too.
If
man.
you can't fuck with your brothers, man, if you can't be, you know what I'm saying, strong with your brothers and weak with your brothers, what the fuck is the point of calling them brothers, man?
Brothers, absolutely.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, y'all. I got like two things going on. I'm sleepy, and then like listening to you brothers, I'm just kind of like, choked up a little bit too, man. So I got like two. So I keep rubbing my eyes because I'm sleepy, and I'm listening to y'all. So I got a whole mixture of shit going on right now, man.
Okay,
but,
so you sleepy and weepy over there
at the same time. But
all right,
no,
amen.
man, it's dope as shit, man.
About it, he's short as shit too, so that's a new dwarf, Sleepy Weepy.
That was funny, you fucking Thundercat looking motherfucker.
Always coming, nigga. What's happening?
Snarf ass nigga. Hey, no, man. No, just listen to that. That's funny, that you said that, about Jay's father, because I used to tell Jay, like, man, your father indirectly raised me too. You know what I'm saying? He used to always tell him that, man, because he would always like drop jewels that his pops would give him, man. You know what I'm saying? I think like my father, the way he did it, even though he left, he still showed me how to be a protector,
I mean, I do want to give props to Mr. Jackson. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I've had
yes, sir.
I've had participants in my life who were father figures to me,
Yes,
who given me lessons, including your dad, Jay. Just remember how absolutely serious he looked. He just absolutely, like, when you think of a grown man, serious, like deep thought, like he was in deep thought, like all the time. Like he wasn't about, like, he never joked with me. So I don't know how.
Yeah.
Nigga, hell no, I ain't about to joke with you. You trying to fuck my daughter.
No, he wasn't no jokey guy at all. But it was more him imparting. If he said anything, I just was listening. But yeah, he definitely was one of the father figures that we all saw. Yeah, Ike's dad too. Remember Ike's dad?
Yeah, Ike's dad.
Mr.
And Mr. Jackson, you gotta give props to Mr. Jackson.
Yeah. Because he was running as a pillar. I'm gonna tell you something about Mr. Jackson. That's something I try to tell young people, and maybe you can attest to this a little bit, Dave. But there's something I try to tell before internet, before all this swag and all this. People don't know what it's like to be kind of popular. You know what I'm saying? I was very popular, and But I tell you what, he had this gate on the side of the house.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
The gate. And the gate, and again, I used to have house parties. We used to hang out, and man, a lot of people knew me. But he used to tell me, Tony, this gate gonna lock at 10 o'clock. You gonna be on one side of it or the other. And when I tell you, as long as I live with that man, I ain't talking about 10:03, and I ain't talking about 9:57. When I tell you at 10 o'clock, that motherfucking gate is locked. I don't give a fuck about late night skating or trying to do some after party shit or some hang out a little bit. That shit has inconsequential to Mr. Jackson. Nigga, when I go to sleep, the house is locked. Nigga, you a teenager, you wild. And so when he set those boundaries for me, and it wasn't no discussion, that's what it was. Some days I had to sleep in the garage. You know what I'm saying? I didn't make it home every night. You know what I'm saying? But the point was, it was his consistency. You know what I'm saying? That gave me to let me know in life, just like in my place. When I lay down, everything shuts down. Ain't nobody open no doors around here. Not when I'm asleep.
That's fucking not why I'm asleep.
Shit. You know, so that's all I'm saying. So that gave me some principles that I still carry to this day.
Yeah.
And that's what manhood is. It's a group of principles, like T was saying. 150 years of not lessons, strategies, principles, tools that are useful. The motherfucker get a hold of them, they can be able to apply them and make their life a little easier than ours was. You know.
Yeah.
Goddamn right.
Goddamn right, man.
What my man said in Godfather, man. He said, "Who was that, Sonny?" When he said, "Women can afford to make mistakes, men cannot."
Man,
Right.
Period.
Absolutely, man. So yeah, y'all. I guess we're gonna, close this out, man. I appreciate,
Yes,
it's
sir.
getting late, but yeah, I appreciate, everybody's words and thoughts, man. On this topic, and I'm glad we're doing this. Like I said, because I think this is our contribution to the baby steps of, reconciling and reclaiming our image. So this is our contribution, fellas. So I mean, we're gonna keep it up, and it's gonna get better. It's gonna get bigger, and it's gonna get greater later. So let's just keep striving. Go ahead.
Before we close, man, I want to do something, man. From all four of the brothers on the panel, and just give a final thought.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Something that it's just something we normally don't do, but you know what I'm saying?
We should.
I'm gonna kick it off. Final thought, man. To the young man who may be listening to us, understand that you don't have to stand on an island by yourself. I don't care what it is you're going through. There's somebody that you can reach out to and get some of the information that you don't have in order to help you through.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Final thought. I want to say thank you to the brothers that I'm with on the panel, and I just want to say, as we're talking about our daughters and talking about our children, young men, if you're out there, just understand that fatherhood is consistent, and as it changes and grows, so must we. And it's a process, and like T said, there's always people you can reach out to get more information or more support.
Yeah. My final thought would be, as men and young men developing into adult men, and when you find yourself working hard, and and things don't seem like it's going right, and you keep pushing yourself harder and harder to make it go right, don't realize that the person that count most in all your fights, all your struggle, is yourself. And the harder you work, you should be looking for a way to work smarter in that process and to get better. Because like my mother used to tell me, because I would, and I still do it because I'm dumb. Sometimes you try to burn the candle on both ends and you can't. So just take some time for yourself and master your grind, master your hustle.
think my final thought would be just to make sure that we as men understand, or young men understand and know that we are human beings. And there's power in forgiveness,
Fucking Panther.
and there's yeah.
I'm sorry, man. Panther just crawled on the table. I'm sorry, man.
That's Tom with them cats, man.
Man. But go ahead.
No, just to the young man, remembering that we human beings, and that's power and empathy, you know, and power and forgiveness, and to never always measure yourself by the same rock that you throw. I mean, and that's it for me.
All right, brothers. Hey, yeah, T, I like that, man. I think that's something we need to add every time. You know,
I like that. Thank you, Pete. Appreciate that.
Yeah, T. I told you, T. You told you, boy. I appreciate you.
Hey, this is a black cat. It's a Black Panther. So
yeah, that's what's up, man.
His name is Huey.
Huey Black. Oh man.
That's
all right,
right.
John. Hey, I
All right,
appreciate
man.
y'all, man. This was a beautiful show, man. Thank y'all so much.
Peace.
All right, man. Love.
Peace.
Peace.
Love.